Hello children, I will continue the lesson, the storyteller. Okay, in last class we have seen nearly 14 paragraphs. Okay, the storyteller. So, let us start the next paragraph. Then 15th also I have completed. Okay, I will revise it. So, let us start from 15th. Wouldn't they have saved her if she had not been good? Demanded the bigger of the smaller girls. It was exactly the question that Bachelor had wanted to ask. Okay. So, here after listening the story told by aunt, so these girls even they have the doubts. Okay. She expressed the doubt, if that girl was not good, is there any chance that they might have saved? Like that they began to ask the question. Because of goodness, the rescuers have saved her. They admired her good character, moral character. If she had not been good, then what could be happened to her? That was the question. Even Bachelor also wanted to ask the same question. Then answer is like this. Auntie gave the answer like this. Well, yes, admitted the auntie lamely, but I don't think they would have run quite so fast to her help if they had not liked her so much. Okay, if they have not liked her so much, they would have that much quickly, they would have not been given the help. They not care, okay, that girl is not at all good, let him happen, whatever happen. Maybe that was the attitude of that people, the rescuers who were surrounding her. Okay, then it is the stupidest story I have ever heard, said the bigger of the small girls with immense conviction. Okay. So, what type of story? See, that auntie told one good story, but see the comment of this girl, the bigger of the small girls. So, she has given this comment. See, she is giving that grade also, stupidest story that she ever heard in her life. Okay. She didn't like that story, but she gave the comment like this, stupidest story. So, we can understand the heart of auntie, right? Okay. I didn't listen after the first bit. It was so stupid, said Cyril. Okay. So, I didn't listen after the first bit. Only first bit she heard. That fellows, even Cyril also heard only first part, first sentence maybe. After that, he didn't listen at all. It was so stupid. That girl said stupid, and this Cyril is telling stupid. So stupid. The smaller girl made no actual comment on the story, but she had long ago recommends a murmured repetition of her favorite line. She was in her memorization only. She was doing her own work. She didn't give any comment on the story. Whatever poem the recitation has happening, so she was doing that itself. In the first here we have seen, no, in the 11th paragraph, she was keep on telling the same line of her poem. So she was busy in her work. She didn't comment anything. After that, what happens? You don't seem to be a success as a storyteller, said the Bachelor suddenly from his corner. Okay. Suddenly this man, the Bachelor, began to give the comment. You don't see, he means he is just degrading the aunt. That story, the way you are telling the story is not good. You are not a good storyteller. Like that, he began to comment from corner. The aunt bristled in instant defense at his unexpected attack. She didn't expect that attack from that Bachelor, so she was shocked. This is a very, then even she didn't become silent. She began to give some response to the attack of this bachelor. It is a very difficult thing to tell stories that children can both understand and appreciate, she said stiffly. Okay, she is not compromising. She began to make the statement so boldly. What did she say? So it is very difficult. It is not easy thing to tell the stories for the children, though, and also getting the appreciation, as well as you should make the children to understand the story. Two things. So we cannot get the two compliments. So boldly, so stiffly, she began to give the response. I don't agree with you, but bachelor also said, I don't agree. This is not correct way. I don't agree. It means that we can make the children to understand the story, as well as we get the appreciation also. That was the opinion of bachelor. But aunt is not accepting that. Perhaps you would like to tell them a story. Okay, I think you wanted to tell the story. That's why you are commenting my story. You are criticizing my way of storytelling. That's what auntie told. Tell us a story, demanded the bigger of the small girls. Okay, now this man is new man, right? Even they are also so excited to listen the story from that man. They have been listening so many stories from their aunt, and they got bored. Now they wanted to listen the story from new members. So that is here bachelor. Tell us a story, demanded the bigger of the small girls. Once upon a time, he started. Listen carefully. Now bachelor is going to tell the same story, whatever story that was told by aunt, same story this bachelor also tell. Once upon a time, he started like this. Began the bachelor. Bachelor began to tell the story. There was a little girl called Bertha who was extraordinarily good. Okay, two adjectives they have given to the girl. Extraordinarily good. Not only good, but it is so extreme, so topmost superlative degree we can take. Who is that girl? Bertha. Her name is Bertha. Once upon a time, there was a little girl and her name is Bertha. And what type of girl she was? Extraordinarily good. The children's momentarily aroused interest began at once to flicker. All stories seemed dreadfully alike, no matter who told them. So it means that the moment they heard this statement told by this bachelor, all the children, the three members, the children who were sitting in the compartment, so suddenly they began to show that much interest toward this story. And they have expressed that till then they never heard such type of story. Still, actually, he didn't say the entire story. Just one sentence he made. All together at a time, they began to show that much interest. Until then, whatever stories that they have heard, it means those stories whoever told. But that was not good. In such a way, they began to express their interest towards this man's story. Then after that, okay, that girl was living. After that, what happened? Let us say, she did all that she was told. She was always truthful. She kept her clothes clean, ate milk puddings as though they were jam tarts, learned her lessons perfectly, and was polite in her manners. So all the good things are there in this girl's characters. She is perfectly all right. We cannot point her. First thing is, she did all that she was told. So it means whatever she was told by her parents to do something, so she began to do. She was doing all the works. And next one is, she was truthful. She never used to tell lies. She was good and truthful, and she kept her clothes clean. Okay. and also neatness also good, and regarding food also, food habits also good habits she has. What are those? She used to take milk puddings, means the items, the snacks, whatever it is there related to milk items, she used to take, and even jam tarts. And also regarding education also she was good, learned her lessons perfectly, and was polite in her manners. Behavior also she was so polite. Next, was she pretty? Another question. Okay, all these things he told after listening these characteristics of the girl. Next, one question, first question, bigger of the smaller girls, she began to ask this question. Was she pretty? It means was she beautiful? Then this is the answer. Not as pretty as any of you. He said like this. Okay, she is pretty only, but not more than like you. You people are beautiful than her. So just he is impressing these people, said the bachelor. But she was horribly good. Underline the statement. How she was horribly good. Here he said extraordinarily good. But here horribly good. What is the sentence? Horribly. Horribly is a negative word. Good is positive word. Yes, right. This is horribly. Horribly is the negative word and good is the positive word. But he added that and he made the adjectives. There was a wave of reaction in favor of the story. Suddenly, he attracted the people's attention, the children's attention towards his story by making such statement, by using such type of difficult or different words. That was the technique of this bachelor in order to attract the children by telling the story. There was a wave of reaction in favor of the story. The word horrible in connection with goodness was a novelty that commended itself. It seemed to introduce a ring of truth that was absent from the aunt's tales of infant life. Okay, so this is the way that he used to attract the children. Suddenly, he turned the children's attention from aunts to himself. He changed the way of telling the story. Okay, till then they have been listening the story from their aunt. They got bored. Now suddenly he began to change the way of telling the story. Different method he used. So they are all attracted towards him. And she was so good. Continued the bachelor. Okay, well, let us see what happened to the girl's story. Now, she was so good. Continued the bachelor, that she won several medals for goodness. Okay, not only good, but because of their goodness, even she could able to get the medals also. She could able to win the medals, gold medals. So, what type of medals that she got? Let us see. Listen carefully. Which she always wore. So, whatever medals that she won, now always she used to wear that medals on her dress. How was she wearing? See, pinned onto her dress. On her dress, she used to pin that medals, whatever medals that she earned. So, next see, what are the medals? There was a medal for, underline this, there was a medal for obedience. One is obedience. Another medal for punctuality. Another is medal for punctuality. And the third for good behavior. One is, what is the first one? Obedience, punctuality. And third one is good behavior. So, total how many medals she got? 3 medals she got. They were large metal medals and they clinked against one another as she walked. Okay, they were large metal medals. They are not plastic. Medals means we know, right? Gold, silver, brass will be their metals. They are all metal medals. So, if they click with each other, we can get the sound of that. Tongue sound, we can get it. So that was happening to her. Even whenever she walks on the road, so because of her movement, all the three medals used to clink with each other and making noise. They were making noise. No other child in the town where she lived had as many as 3 medals. In that, wherever she was living, in that village, no other children had that many medals that she has. So everybody knew that she must be an extra good child. So because of her medals and all, so everybody, they knew that she was extra good. She has some good qualities, more than normal. Then again third, horribly good, quoted Cyril. Again Cyril is so active, smart, no? He began to make the statement like, horribly good. Then everybody talked about her goodness. For this statement, Bachelor did not respond. He was continuing his story. Everybody talked about her goodness, and the prince of the country got to hear about it, and he said that as she was so very good, she might be allowed once a week to walk in his park, which was just outside the town. It was a beautiful park and no children were ever allowed in it. So it was a great honor for Bertha to be allowed to go there. So here, because of her goodness, extraordinarily good, no, she was, and very good she was. So even the prince of that country also came to know about Bertha's goodness. So he wanted to honor Bertha. How can he honor? So so he decided, he gave opportunity to her to enter his beautiful park, Princess Park. Okay, Bertha was allowed to enter the beautiful Prince Park. That was an honor for her, because no other person can be allowed to enter the park of the prince of that country. Only Bertha got that opportunity. Bertha got that honor. It was so honor for her to be allowed to the prince's park. It was so beautiful. No other people will go to the prince's park. Okay, because prince was so impressed because of the Bertha's goodness. So he gave that honor to Bertha. Let us see what happened to Bertha. Were there any sheep in the park? Demanded Cyril. He was concentrating on sheep because at the moment he entered the compartment of the train, he saw the sheep. So again he began to ask that question. Were there any sheep in the park? This was the first question of Cyril in the story of Bachelors. Okay, remember. No, said the bachelor, there were no sheep. Why weren't there any sheep? Came the inevitable question arising out of that answer. Bachelor said there were no sheep. But Cyril asked again, why? Why weren't there any sheep? There could be some sheep, no? Like that he was expressing his question. The aunt permitted herself a smile, which might almost have been described as a grim. Okay, see, so she was expecting, see how the boys will answer the question, see how they will question the storytellers. Now your turn, you have to answer that question. Like that she expressed her feelings. She didn't say, but she just put a smile. There were no sheep in the park, said the bachelor. There was a reason. What was the reason? See, listen carefully. Because the princess mother had once had a dream that her son would either be killed by a sheep or else by a clock falling on him. For this reason, the prince never kept sheep in his park or a clock in his palace. Underline this statement, this third line. There were no sheep in the park. Why? What was the reason? Because Princess mother once she had a dream, that in her dream she had seen like this, that her son was die. He died. He was killed by a sheep or by a clock falling on his head. That is the reason the sheep were not kept in the park. Maybe they believed that the dream may become true. It may come true. That's why they avoided the sheep to be entering into the park. Okay. For this reason, the prince were never kept sheep in his park, or a clock also. In the palace, he never used to keep clock also. That's why. Then aunt suppressed a gasp of admiration. Okay. She wanted to admire the answer of this bachelor, but she was suppressing her admiration. She didn't admire. Then, was the prince killed by a sheep or by clock? Asked Cyril. Still, he didn't continue the story. No, in the middle itself, this Cyril is asking that many questions. He began to ask, was the prince killed by a sheep or by a clock? But still he didn't die, no? That's what he is telling. See, he is still alive, so we can't tell whether the dream will come true, said the bachelor unconcernedly. He didn't care, just he made the rash statement. Anyway, there were no sheep in the park, but there were lots of little pigs running all over the palace. All over the place. Sheep were not there, but everywhere we could see pigs were running here and there. What color were they? Another question he put. What color were they? What is the color of the pigs? Black and white faces. Listen carefully, 44 paragraph. Black and white faces. White with black spots. Black all over, grey with white patches, and some were white all over. Okay, here are the